Alright. So let's see here. What do you like, since you don't have a VOD you prefer, what would you, or what do you think you like struggle inside of the game, like with, like, is there anything in particular in your gameplay that you think I can look at to make you better at, that you think you could improve on right now?
I mean, what I've noticed myself, like the last couple of days, is that my awareness has been pretty lacking.
Yeah.
It's like off the map in general. That's something I'm working on. And I don't know, like as I said, like I'm in a bit of a rut, and I've just noticed that my peripheral vision isn't as good as it used to be, or like as it usually is.
Okay.
So I like don't notice stuff as easily.
Why do you think
But
that is? Or do you have no clue?
I mean, probably just like not focusing on it. Like I have tunnel vision or some shit. Like maybe just like being on the phone, you know.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in general, there's like, if we really want to try out games, like, there's a few recommendations that I put up for people, right? It's like
Okay.
to increase consistency. Like, one is like um, trying to have some sort of a schedule, right? Because when we have a schedule and we try to follow it, then it's easier to be consistent. It's like one thing. And the other thing is like that I think is quite important and can make us lose focus quite easily. It's like if we have other stuff outside of the game that we have not finished, like it might be whatever, I don't know if you're studying or working or whatever, right? But let's say you're studying, right, and you haven't finished an assignment or something like that, then you're gonna be subconsciously thinking about that while you're playing.
Yeah.
So these kind of things, right? It could just be something simple. It could be someone's coming over and you haven't cleaned or something, right? And if you play the game first, then you're gonna have that subconsciously on your mind, right? So
Yeah.
generally, I recommend finishing these kind of things first, right?
Yeah, sure.
And these are things that can like generally increase. And I don't know, like if you have had any switch of habits lately, right? If it's like sleep schedule, these kind of things, right? Because in general, consistency is not always what we do in game, or like focus rather, but rather what we do out of the game, right? If we do things out of the game that are out of habit or like in general don't stay consistent out of game, it's hard to do so in game, right? Makes sense?
Yeah.
Um, and you probably know this better yourself, right? Because I don't know you that well, right? So it's like, um, yeah, do what you want with that information, basically. If you have any questions on that, shoot. But otherwise, that's like my general recommendation, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I try to follow it for the most part, and I kind of have a similar mindset, but I'm not too sure what has happened like last week, but I'm sure I will figure it out, get back into it.
All right. Yeah, and some days we just have off days as well, right? That's just another thing. Let's look through this game, I guess. This one looks good. And as I said, like, we can go for a while, and it's like, if you want to look through multiple ones, we can do that.
Yeah.
It's basically as you generally get what you want out of the games. Alright,
Yeah.
go.
I think also one of my issues is that I don't think for myself enough, and I just like usually just follow support or a team or whatever, do whatever we do.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty bad habit I have currently.
Yeah, alright. In general, coming into this game, what is like our thought process and like slash plan?
I don't remember my thoughts I had during the game,
Yeah.
but looking at it now, I feel like as long as I don't get hit by Leona E, we should be like very hard chilling in bot lane. I should be able to get push. We should be able to get into bot push like level 1 or just walk up.
Okay.
Like it's kind of hard to contest Astral, but I think I win push.
Yeah, I mean the general thing with your champion, right, is that whenever you
I
want,
always win push.
yeah, when you want like push, you can force the push, right? But you can't consistently keep it. That's like the main thing, right? So it's like, yeah, the main question we have to ask ourselves, right, is if we want the push as well, right? Because we can easily play for the push if we want to, I think, with our champion in basically any lane we want to. And then it's just, okay, do we want to do it versus their bot lane, right? Because it's not impossible, we just get stuck, right? Because they will win on all lane, agreed?
Yep.
So if we do...
Usually, I always tend to, like, always try to get push, and if I don't want push prolonged, I just, like, crash second and let them push into me, or, like, I crash fourth and then reset.
Yeah, that's fine, right? So, like, second push or, like, second wave crash is, like, generally good, especially if you're, like, playing for the push, but you're, like, going to be playing weak side the first few waves, right?
Yeah.
That's when I recommend it. It's like this game, I don't mind it, right? If like Nidalee is pathing down, for example, right? And this is fine. Now the general thing, like when we like play for the push, is we gotta realize how we do it, right? Because generally how I like to do it is like we can say we have like a meter on like how fast we push, right? So let's say Jinx with like rockets is like a 10 in push or something, right? Maybe not, but like a 9, maybe even, right? And Ezreal, like, depends on how stacked his passive is, it's like maybe a 6 or a 7, agreed? Out of 10, let's say, right?
Sure.
This means that if our push is 9 and his is this, we do not have to go to 9, we only have to go to 7 or 8, depending on where his push is at. Make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
Our push should only be slightly faster than his, unless we plan on crashing second wave. And it's like a general thing on how we can do this, right? Because one thing we do not want to do, right, is like have both of us just clear the wave and then reset the wave state to level 2, right? Agreed?
Yeah, sure.
It's like then we can't build slow pushes, then we can't force crashes, etc. And we'll just be like not actually building advantage. And generally how we do this is by just simply walking at them, right?
Okay.
It's like if we think we lose the level 1, then that's another thing. Then we probably, like, in my head, can't contest a push, because then all that's gonna happen is we're gonna clear the wave, he's gonna clear the wave, we're gonna sit there, right? Unless you think that's good for you, then that's fine as well. But it's like,
I mean, usually how I view that is like let's say in this lane, I think we do lose level 1, right?
Okay.
If we like all in fight, right?
Yeah.
And then like having the wave reset for wave 2, and then like Jinx usually just like wins level 2 push, right? Because I can't rocket.
Yeah, if you think you win level 2 harder than level 1, then this is fine, right?
Okay.
Like that I don't mind, if that's what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah.
It's like, otherwise the way we do it, right, is we just walk at them and we deny them from pushing the wave, right? Because if this guy cannot, like, stand close to the wave, he cannot hit it, right? So then we don't have to hit it to contest his push. I'd rather deny his push than, like, enable our own, in a sense, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Holy shit, what did I just watch?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, unlucky.
Yeah. No, but it's like, I mean, in general, if we think, or if we're hitting level 2 first, like we do here, like, I wouldn't mind us, like, just insta walking up, going for an alt attack straight away, you know what I mean? Like, we kind of hesitate on it, right? Like, I don't mind exactly how it plays out, right? But I do think we're giving him time, if he wants to just, like, last hit this minion and step back, right? Like, here he doesn't have to
I
step
can
forward.
probably get one out in.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
It's like whenever we're at an advantage, and I feel like most players, but especially ADCs, have this habit, right? Where they think they're at an advantage, but they click backwards, right? Because they're scared of whatever, right? And it's like a spacing habit, right? But here we have nothing to be scared of. We can easily click forward if we want to. Agreed?
Yeah. I think like in my head, I look at like, he's gonna hit level 2 as well, so I can't, but I have a window for sure.
Yeah. This is fine, but I would step further. Like, the general thing that you said, right?
That's weird.
Yeah, the general thing that you said, right, is if this guy standing over here right now hits E on you, you will, like, kind of lose, right? But here, it's not true, right? Because the only thing is...
he's too far.
Yeah.
That's way too far.
Yeah, exactly. And you just cleanse the Leona and you just fist this guy.
Yeah.
It's like, so it feels like we're scared of nothing, right? Because in general, especially in spacing in bot lane, right, is that we space 2 people at once, right? So we space this guy and we space this guy, right?
Yeah, and right now I'm spacing Shaco.
Right. Yeah, it's like if you're scared of Shaco here, that's a valid thing, right, for example. But then we're pinging it as well, you know? But it's like similar thing right here, right? Where it's like, okay, maybe we could sneak an out in, and maybe here we're scared of the Leona when she hits level 2. But instead of clicking backwards, we click over here, right? Because we're spacing away from this guy, but towards this guy.
Yeah, or like towards our first push.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then we have general things to, like, play for still, right? While still remaining safe, right? And it's the same thing here, right? can keep our distance from the Estral, I don't mind that, but we wanna be closer to the Leona, right, in this case.
Yeah. I mean, Ezreal is for sure griefing here.
Yeah.
I'm not punching. Relate cleanse.
Yeah, I mean, this is a bit unfortunate, right? I mean, one thing is that we kind of get cheese ganked to an extent, but I also think we just misplay it, like, over here. And then it's like, if Diana is over here, then, I mean, I don't know what else to say, other than it's a bit unfortunate, but I also think that if we do want to go for this, preferably we have a ward placed, right? Because, well, one thing, we don't know exactly where she's pathing, right? So that's, like, one thing. We don't know if she can be here or not right now. But this is something to always be aware of, right? I mean, preferably we get some sort of vision level 1, because we're playing with Nidalee, and Nidalee almost always goes for this kind of vision, right?
Okay.
If she doesn't do it, then it's like another thing, right? But it's like, in general, we have to be aware of that this is a gank timer, right? Even if she's pathing down right now, this is a gank timer if she really wants it to be. Agreed?
Yeah. I
So
mean, now I'm doing
yeah.
a really awkward in between, right? I either like play for this fight or I just ping it off and go hard, right?
Yeah, exactly. And here, I don't think we're like as hard winning anymore as before. So it's like, while I don't mind that we're like spacing forward here, if we think we're winning, I would space backwards here, right? Because the only thing is that if we space forward, it allows Leona to easily hit us, and it doesn't allow Nautilus to be in the fight, right? If we're spacing backwards, they're chasing, maybe Nautilus can go for a hook, something like this,
Yeah.
and actually have value. Alright, what is the plan now?
I mean, it looks pretty good. Like my wave state is pretty good, right? So as long as I can't really deny this crashing, but if I could, I would be very happy, right? And
Yeah.
now everything just kind of sucks, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I have to be in this fight and I have to get the wave. So if I lose this wave, it's like game is really fucked.
Yep.
And then I flash in like a monkey, I guess.
I mean, we get a double kill, but it's a bit suboptimal, right? For sure. I mean, the entire thing is like a bit awkward, right? If we, like, once again, it's like, as before, if we really don't want a fight here, like, we ping our team back, right? Because this is kind of what you're saying, right? You kind of follow on what your team is doing, in a sense, even though it's maybe not the best. But it's like, both you and me can see here that this could easily grief our game, right?
Yeah.
So for all I care, we just ping the team back, and if they decide to do it anyways, like, that's another story, right? That's not something we can have control over, right?
Yeah. And here I should probably just be happy with Ezreal kill and get wave.
I mean, I think here we just, as you say, we hit the Estral. We get red buff from the Estral, right? Because he just killed that guy. And then we just chase down the Diana.
Yeah, I can probably kill all.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe we don't kill the Leona, right? But I think we can kill the Diana for sure. And this sucks a bit. So what is the plan now?
I haven't paid full attention, but I assume Diana is going topside now, right? And
She should be, but she could open bot. Like, it's kind of dependent, right? Because it's like generally her respawn or camp respawn timers are up now. You can see the Nidalee is going for invade. She could be topside, right? Because that's where most likely she opens up and then clears down, so downward slow. But
yeah,
it's not impossible. She just opens bot and then clears up.
I think I would be pretty happy to like crash next and just walk into enemy jungle fog and either reset or like help Nidalee or go Drake or whatever.
Alright.
So I kinda just go fog and I do nothing.
Yeah. It's fine to do nothing here if we think that's like the best. We want to keep laning whatever, right?
Yeah.
I would take a reset here.
Yeah.
But that's just my preference because I think, okay, we can just get like either boots or longsword. I don't know. You're not running magical footwear, right?
No.
No, so like maybe boots versus Ezreal Leona is quite nice, and then like a refill, right? Because this guy is right now on Sheen longsword, right? So he's kind of scary. Yeah. And if we get hit by one too many Ezreal Qs, we just can't lane if we don't have refill.
Yeah.
I mean, this is fine. Yeah, it's alright.
Should probably stop hitting her earlier, no?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing, right, is like if you wanna try to kill her, like, I don't think we space this way. I think we just fucking, like, send it over here, you know? In a sense.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think we kill her either way, so it's fine. But yeah.
No.
Did we get the crash? No. But that's alright. I don't think it's a disaster. Once again, I would probably get refill. I think it's a bit greedy not to.
Fair.
Can we not break this? 1-1?
In the game, I didn't feel like I could, at least.
Okay.
I'm
No,
not sure. Like, I really think he can, like, E me, and then I'm just dead, no?
Yeah, I mean, potentially, you know your limits better than I do, probably. If this is the case, then once again, we really need to ping that we need assistance bot lane, right? Because our game is fucked here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I lose like 3 waves.
Yeah. And this is very suboptimal, right? I mean, the game was kind of fucked for us after the like bot lane play from Nidalee, right? And then it kind of fixed itself when Ezreal died there. And now it's kind of fucked again. Let it load for a second. Yeah, because now we're just 2 levels below, and now it feels really rough to play, I think. I mean, it's good that we don't go and die on it. If you think you're gonna die, like you got us in the wave, I don't like mind that we're not doing it. I think like one big difference between like good and bad players is like how much you're willing to respect, like that enemy can do, and not greed for like more than you should. Because if your team is winning on the top side of the map really hard here, and you just refuse to lose, like, you know, it's really good.
Yeah.
But I still think we like when we play this kind of champion, I think the game to an extent revolves around us. Agreed?
Yeah.
Because if we get to 3 items, we win the game. Agreed?
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
number 1 goal for your game should be to get to 3 items. Almost always. Agreed?
Yeah.
Especially versus a champion like Ezreal, because Ezreal spikes like super hard on 2 items. Versus some champions, you're probably stronger on 2 items, but not versus Ezreal, I think.
Yeah.
So in general, this champion, we try to get to 3 items, and that's just the general goal throughout the game, right? And if our teammates are doing something that does not align with our goal, like, you know, at least try to impact the decision, right? And make them aware of the fact that, okay, we're gonna get kind of fucked from this. And if they still make a decision that doesn't align with your plan, that's alright. That's not something we can control, but, you know, then at least we made an effort.
Oh, yeah.
This is kind of what I mean with why are we clicking back here, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And this flash is really bad as well.
Yeah, it's alright. The flash is alright because that's just, well, we fucked up. That's fine. I think clicking backwards is more of a habit, right? That we're not doing consciously. Yeah, this is a bit awkward.
Complete disaster.
Yeah. Well, what is the plan now?
I mean, again, I feel like I'm really fucked here.
Yeah. No, I agree. You're omega fucked.
I really can't play the game, you know.
So, what is your plan to come back?
I mean, right now, if I press tab, I'm probably like, I guess I'm farming an 8-minute farming montage, and maybe I can be relevant.
Yeah.
Like, I think Matris is like really ahead this game, and I guess I just pray to get carried until I'm relevant.
Yeah. I mean, your champion is like always going to be somewhat relevant, right? Even if you're not like a main carry. Because if you're not a main carry and Tristan is really fed, that means you're allowed to free hit.
Yeah.
Right? Because anytime they try to hit you instead, you're just gonna like carry the game pretty much for your team, right? Because they are not getting hit instead. So you can play kind of however you want. Not completely, but you're a bit more open, right?
Yeah.
Do you play any comp right now or no?
No, I've taken a break.
Okay. If this is comp, you probably lane swap in this kind of spot potentially to fix your game.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean that's not gonna happen in solo queue.
Yeah.
No, but in general, I think the idea is just play for 1 item, and then it's like in team fights, just try to put up as much DPS as possible, right? And just be a wave clear tool, kinda. Because that we can always do. This is a bit depressing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of what you mean as well, right? I think here, you just don't walk the wave in, right? I mean, you probably
Yeah.
don't think Diana is bot side here, but yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, let's skip over to team fights because this game is just gonna be Wave Clear Simulator. Unless you have something in between that you want to look at.
I don't think so.
Alright. Well, that was tragic. Okay. Let's see. Alright, what are you thinking coming into team fights?
That a lot of shit is scary, right?
Yeah.
Like, I have to respect a lot of cooldowns.
Yep.
But mostly they will go on Trist, right?
Yep.
As I said before. But yeah, we are just like really weak.
Yeah, that fight was hard. Let's see here. I mean, so we got Nash. I guess the game is playable, right? But
Yeah, I mean, I think Jinx when behind like this is also somewhat of a utility champ because W&E is really OP.
yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, your champion is always like, if you get a reset, you will have value, right? So
Yeah. But I guess I just look like post game. I just look at this and I'm like, my CS sucked. I have way too many deaths to be like acceptable.
yeah,
And it's like, fuck.
yeah. I mean, I think like some of our deaths are like you say, we kind of lose focus in a sense, right? But it's also like we're, as you said as well, like we can just go along with the plan. And I think sometimes, you know, we have to think about our game in a sense, right? Like what is good for us. And it's like getting the habit, and this is something most people struggle with, I would say. Like, in general, just pinging or like trying to communicate what you want to do. I'm not saying people will listen, but yeah.
It's also like the way to actually improve, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, the more, like, in general, the goal in solo queue is to have as much agency as possible, agreed?
Yeah.
Like, the more agency you have, the more you can carry games, and one way to get more agency is just by pinging more.
Mm.
So, here, I mean, this is just an example. I wouldn't be so scared of the Ezreal, like, simply because we have so many people around us, right? So he can't E on us, agreed? So here, it's fine if we step back to behind the minions, but after the minions come, I would walk in with the minions, right? So that we're not tech range of this guy, because we outrange him, agreed?
Yeah.
The only time we don't outrange him is if he can E in on us, or if we don't have minions side bind. And I guess we lose the game here, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say on this game?
Not really.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a specific thing in mind.
Yeah, that's alright. Hey guys, it's Aqsept. If you're enjoying the coaching session that you're watching right now, please consider leaving a like and subscribe. I upload coaching sessions daily right now. I also upload shorts daily. And if you're interested in seeing the sessions a bit more live and asking questions while we're going on, then just remember, I always do these sessions live on my Twitch channel, so you can go follow that, link in the description. Anyways, thank you and enjoy the video. Let's see. Do you think this game is any value to look into, like the lane phase?
I think the laning phase was kind of interesting.
Yep.
Like the Cartus was AFK, but I didn't play like it, or I played like he was in the game, right? Because I didn't know.
Yeah. Hello, does it want to go full screen? No. That's fine.
Yeah, it's probably like 3 minutes lane starts. It's a really short one.
What is your plan coming into this lane?
It was Ezreal Leona, right?
Yep.
I mean, kind of similar as last game, right? As long as I don't get hit by Leona E, I think we like really stomp this lane.
How come you decided to go barrier this game, but cleanse last game?
I kind of been experimenting,
Okay.
and like, because Leona is the only CC, right?
Mm-hmm.
And normally I would just go cleanse like by automation.
Yeah.
or like instantly when I see Leona, right? But I felt like lately in games against like ADs like Ezreal or Kai'Sa, these sub champs, right? That can like easily engage on me. I'm kind of experimenting with barrier.
Yeah.
Even if it's Leona, just because like usually Leona goes to roam, right? And then because I have cleanse, I can't really 1v1.
Yeah.
And then I get like into those spots, right, where I'm afraid that Ezreal just ease in, right, and I can't break freeze, or like same
Yeah.
thing with Kai'Sa just ores into me.
Yeah, I can see
But
it.
with barrier, I feel like I should win it.
Yeah, the only thing I think is that if the Leona is good and you play barrier, I don't think she keeps roaming, right? And I think they just start hard forcing around bot lane, right? And then I think you struggle to play.
Yeah, I can see it for sure.
I mean, here, it's like, I guess you once again feel like you lose to level 1, right?
Yeah, like fist fight level 1, yeah, we lose.
Yeah, because I don't feel that scared in this level 1, because here, he doesn't have that many passive stacks, right? Ezreal, like it's one thing, right?
Yeah.
I think if he has passive stacks, I think we hard lose, agreed.
Okay.
This is how the champion works. If not, I think we have barrier, and I think we have a Sona, and Sona, it's not like super strong, that's not what I'm saying, right? But I don't think Sona is like super weak either, right?
No.
So it's like here, I think it's hard for the Ezreal to hit, and we use kite backwards. That's my thought process.
Yeah.
And here he has one passive stack, right now he has two. And it's like in general, if we can keep track of these, this is like what makes Ezreal a good champion in lane phase, right? If he doesn't have passive stacks up, we just win.
Okay. I haven't really paid attention too much to his attacks at all.
Yeah.
Even though I have it up.
And comparatively, this game, I think we lose harder level 2 than the last one.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah,
I think
I would play.
usually I just like walk into lane and I just try to space enemy more than anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I like my range advantage is pretty absurd, right?
No, I agree in that sense, right? But it's two types of spacing once again, right? One we space the enemy Ezreal, one we space the enemy support, right? It's like, this looks illegal to me. It's like one thing, obviously, like that the Leona is allowed to walk into this bush, like, uncontested. And of course, that's not like fully on us, that's not what I'm saying, right? But it's like, it looks illegal that her positioning can be like this, because here we just lose the lane, right? Or not lose the lane, but we for sure lose the push. We have nothing to do about it anymore, right? And part of it is because, okay, one, no one is positioning on this side, like the Sona or you, for that matter. And two is like, she walks into the bush, like from this bush, in a straight line without being contested, without attacks or anything, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's just recognizing what we want to do, right? Because if we can get an HP lead on them, then we can win the lane, agreed?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, there's one of two things I want us to achieve. One is either we outpush them because we're playing range versus melee support, agreed?
Yep.
Or we just take an HP lead because this guy's hitting the wave for fun. Right? And it's like, obviously, like, Sona should also be hitting, etc. But it's like, if Ezreal is standing over here in Narnia, and the Leona is standing over here, I want us to space towards the Leona. You see what I mean?
Sure.
And it's like, especially here, right? And now we lose the push, that's fine. Like, I don't mind us not getting the push this game in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Do you always go W level 2?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And there's obviously like some exceptions, but
Yeah,
like
no, I was just
90% of the
curious.
times.
Yeah, no, I was just curious. So the only thing we have to like be kind of careful of in this lane when we're giving the push is that we don't want to start like slow pushing into them, because there's two things, right? One, Sinso is pathing upwards, right? And we don't know where the Corvus is. Obviously, as you said, he's standing AFK right now, so that's like something, but we don't know that.
Yeah.
And if we get stuck over here in front of enemy tower, we're fucked. Agreed?
Yeah.
So we really need to like constantly like keep the wave under control, right?
Yeah.
And so if we start building a slow push like this, let's say, I mean, now the Ezreal is like starting to push it again, so now we're chilling, right? Agreed?
Yeah.
But if he does not push here, I would preferably like slow push this one and hard shove next one. We have to get the reset at some point, right?
Yeah.
I think we just kite backwards. Maybe we're scared of the Sona getting hit by all the Destro spells. I guess that's it.
Yeah, like in my head I wanted to block EQ, right? But I tanked W as well, which was not meant to do, right?
Yeah. And now lane is kind of awkward to play because for all we know is that Karthus is maybe bot side right now and Sinzao is top side and we're playing on this HP. If I'm enemy like bot lane, and
like
Karthus
right
is
now,
not
I
AFK.
probably assume that Karthus is on bot scuttle, right?
Yeah, like I mean he should already be done on bot scuttle as well, right? Like for all I care, if this enemy bot lane and Karthus is not AFK and he's like down here right now, you're getting dove.
Yeah.
Because all Karthus needs to do is he needs to sacrifice his own life and like while diving, and then he just plays in his passive, and then GG.
Yeah, I mean, could they not also just like let it push into them, and I can never walk up?
I mean, potentially, but all we need to do then is take one bad reset, right?
Yeah, sure.
It's like, I mean, I'm not sure what wave state was right after we trade. I mean, maybe here, yeah, they can let the slow push if they really want to, right?
Yeah, it's like if they were to reset on in Fogger there, like, doesn't it like really fucking suck for me?
Yeah, of course it sucks for you. I think everything sucks for you right now.
Okay, shit.
I think here I would be terrified. like it's full HP Leon on the enemy team, and we're both half HP. But Karthus does not show up, so we're kind of lucky, right? But I think the main thing is like over here in like this all-in or whatever, right? It's like that, and then also since we lose the all-in so hard and we have no real way of stopping it, agreed, except for just walking away simply, we really have to poke this guy down, I think.
Yeah.
Like, we have to get a clear advantage, and if the clear advantage is we have a much bigger wave than them, and Ezreal struggles to hit Qs, for example, because of that, that's an advantage, right? And if it's this guy's half HP, and if he jumps in, we'll kill him, that's another advantage, right? We have to recognize it, because it just feels like already level 1, we do the same thing as we did last game, we play for the push. I don't hate us playing for the push, but this looks illegal, right? And now, because he does this, we can't just keep hitting the wave, and now we can't hit the Leona either. So now we're fucked. And I think this kind of dictates the lane, because I think after this, if they want to, they can crash second wave, they can let it bounce, and then we get ganked, right? And then we're fucked.
Yeah.
Alright, anything else on this one?
No, I don't think so.
Right. Wait, let's see what the first one was. That's all I want to see, because we didn't find it in the OPGG. Just want to see the scoreline at the end. I'm down to look through this one.
No.
I mean, this one must be old, because we're playing with heal.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I think I uploaded the wrong file.
If you want to look through it still, I'm down, but it's up to you.
Oh, wait, I think I just linked, though, something that it's really old, actually.
Yeah, 7 months old.
Yeah, we can ignore this one, actually. I think I've talked to someone else about it.
Sure.
Yeah, okay, then I only uploaded 4, actually.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a complete error. Alright, let's look through this one then.
That one is actually like a year old. Oh, I remember it.
Yeah. Alright, what is the thought process going into this game?
It's Samira Rumble, right?
Yep.
I mean, again, like I usually just like think like, okay, I have insane push advantage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as long as I don't get engaged on and I just like space properly, I will for sure like win it.
Okay.
In my head, right?
What is your spacing this game?
What?
You keep finishing. If you had something to say more, you go for it first.
Oh yeah, yeah, like a Rumble E, and usually just like what I mean by spacing is also like just like spacing Samira autos, right? Because I think I should win. Like I just like get autos for free because my champ has longer like range, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, I completely fucking griefed this game.
So, in general, how bot lane works, right, in lane phase, is that whenever this guy has auto attack, this guy is exposed. Agreed?
When he has, it's
So when this guy has to out-attack a minion or last hit a minion,
Oh yeah,
right,
yeah.
then
Yeah,
this guy is
for sure.
exposed because then we can just start trading on him and this guy cannot support him. Agreed?
For sure.
Right. So whenever this guy goes for an auto-attack, this guy needs to back off.
Yeah.
Right. Unless he can 1v2 us, which it's a rumble. He might be able to. But the general point is, right, like, for example, look here, right? Because, okay, should we play for the push in this lane? Sure. Right? We have a Seraphine support. Seraphine quite good into rumble, I think. And we're playing Jinx once again, right? So Mira doesn't have much push. I don't mind this, right? Here, look at the minion HPs.
Talon is walking bot, or pushing bot, pathing
Right.
bot.
Right. It's like, look at the minion HPs here, right?
Yeah.
This guy has lost at this, right? Agreed?
Yep.
So and he's standing in Narnia. This means that this guy has no way of getting help.
Mm-hmm.
So when this guy goes for this out attack, we walk forward towards this guy.
Interesting.
Right.
I usually, like in my head, I'm just like thinking like, he autos minion. I can auto him.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
You can do that as well, right? If this guy is standing closer, for example, or whatever.
Yeah, but
right.
It's true.
Right, but this really guy is standing in our range.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and if we think we cannot punish this guy because this guy respects it, right? We hit the next minion.
Yeah.
Then we start shrunking down this minion. It will go to 0 HP, and then when he has to last hit these two, once again, same thing again.
Yeah. I think here I'm also a bit worried that they will like get level 2 on us.
Yeah.
So it's not a rocket minion wave.
No, and I can understand that.
But I don't really.
Yeah, no, it's like if we're scared of their level 2, it's like we have an excuse to why we're not like doing something, right? And I respect that, right? It's like that's fine, right?
Yeah.
But we also have to like as long as we're keeping track of the things that are going on, it's fine, right? And we make an active decision.
Sure.
I mean, this is really good. It's like here once again. I mean, I wouldn't be super scared in a sense. Like we go for an auto here. I get that we don't want to like have minion aggro on us. One thing with minion aggro is that, and most people don't know this, if we walk through two minions, we will drop minion aggro.
Oh.
So if we here, let's say, when we walk through these two, like we drop minion aggro, right? Generally.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay, I didn't know that.
Or at least if it's like max range on enemy creeps, right? If these range creeps are like standing next to us, we're not gonna drop. But often they're not gonna be like next to us, so that's like one trick we can do to like constantly de-aggro minions, right? In that sense, and therefore we can play more aggressive.
Yeah.
Was this intentional second wave crush?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like in my head, right? Talon is walking bot, and I think like Talon can 3-cap me.
Yeah. No, I don't mind the second wave crash. I think it's completely alright. If we're scared of like something, or if we want to set up a gang for the Sleezin or whatever, it's fine, right?
I think we also saw Talon on like he did second camp Raptor, so I assumed he would go like buff and then bot.
Yeah, I mean now we see him top lane, right? But
yeah,
it's like the only thing to be scared of when we crash second wave is that these guys will more often than not have wave control on their side, right? And they will hit level 3 first. And when they hit level 3 first and the wave is over here, we have to play really passive, right?
Yeah.
So that's something to be aware of.
Pretty easy for us to retake push down.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I mean, I think this. I think this rumble is just trolling. I'll be completely honest.
Yeah, that's fine. And I for sure walked too far back here.
Yeah, it's like similar thing again. Here, it's fine if we're spacing backwards after this W, click forward.
After this W, I should just like fuck that guy.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have flash. If you want to, flash on him as well. He's dead. And right here, I would try to position basically as aggressive as possible. And like, I get that we don't want to stand over here or whatever, because this guy can poke us. But I'd rather you stand over here than anywhere else.
For sure. Now I get into kind of awkward situation, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's semi-awkward, right? I think it ends up being fine, but yeah.
Yeah, it does. But like, should I just like shove the other wave harder? so I don't have to
I
waste
mean,
this.
it depends on what you want to do, right? Like, in that sense. Like, sometimes, especially since they are not at high range, right? What we can do is half crash, and then if they're trying to, like, see us on the tower with a half crash, we can actually poke them, right? Like, for example, if these range creeps right here, they're trying to last hit them, she's gonna be standing over here somewhere, we can poke her. You see what I mean? So if our goal is to stay in lane and to poke this guy, right? And then like crash at some point, then that's fine. If our goal is to hard shove this wave, well, we'd probably slow push the last one and then hard shove this one. And if we can't do that because we think it's gonna push too fast, then we fast push the last one, right?
Yeah. Don't you think I'm forced to like walk in with Lee here?
You can be, but I don't think it's your job theoretically to walk in with Lee. I think it's Seraphine's job, right? In that sense, right? Because it's like it depends, right, on a few things, right? If they need you to win there to win the fight, yeah, you're forced to walk in. I agree. If the Lee Sin is fine in the 1-1 and wins the 1-1, then theoretically all you need to do is make sure the enemy bot lane stays bot lane. And you can't make sure the Rumble stays bot lane, right? But you can make sure the Samira stays bot lane. Right? So you don't need to walk, Samira needs to walk. Makes sense? Or Seraphine, I mean.
Yeah, usually like why I feel like it was a mistake in game at least is that I feel like if I hard shove the other one or the wave before and both walk like we do now, right? The wave will slow push into me and I will have like insane wave.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I mean, here, I would prefer to just go on the Rumble as soon as possible. This guy still doesn't have flash. I don't see why he's allowed to step up like this without dying. Like, he dies eventually, right? But it's kind of because they keep walking in for some reason, agreed?
Yeah.
But he should already be dead when he, like, steps over this ward over here. We just W him. If the W hits, he's fucked. Agreed?
Yeah.
And maybe we're scared of the fact that we don't have enough mana, but then just pop a biscuit and we're chilling. Alright, what's the plan now?
I mean, right now I'm in a pretty good spot, right? I see
Yeah.
Rumble, so I just like think I slow push. I'm kind of looking at the rank. I don't think it's really possible from how Lee's pathing right now.
Mhm.
But yeah, right now I just think like, okay, Seraphine is solo, right? She can for sure not like. She will lose half HP at least
Mhm.
if I shove next and Rumble doesn't move, right?
Yep. Okay, so let me ask you a question here, right? We know Rumble is mid lane, okay? We know Talon is top lane, right? So Samira is completely alone, agreed. Obviously we see her here. But what is the advantage to standing over here and not over here, for example?
I'm not sure. I guess I don't get like aggro, but I don't get it in bush either way, so.
Right, because for all I care is that, I mean, now we see her so we don't have to stand like this far up if we don't want to, right? But when she's about to arrive to lane, I want us to stand over here.
Yeah, that makes
Like,
sense.
you're right, because she can't even step up to us, right? We outrange her. If she starts walking forward, she's just gonna take damage. And we don't even need
So it's complete
we don't even need to stand in aggro these guys, right?
Yeah.
And then when the next wave comes, we walk into the bush, we wait for the wave to arrive, and then we walk out again. And this guy can't play. And then we can zone off him off XP. And the Seraphine is also standing in Narnia, right? Same thing. He should also be stepping up with us.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, right now,
probably be a fog, right?
Seraphine?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, probably, but
Yeah, okay.
but it's like we can't really control that. And here, I don't see why we're hard shopping, to be honest, right? It's like, maybe you think you have to crash on this wave anyways, for example, or maybe you think you can dive him. If you think you can dive him, I like it, right? But otherwise, once again, I'd rather use Seraphine stands like literally over here, for example, and we stand like over here, and if the Samira steps up, he's just fucked. Because this guy should not get XP right now, agreed.
Okay.
Like, he's in a completely fucked position, because we're both stronger than him, and we're also 2v1. Yeah, and we're also high range. The fact that we're pushing this wave just means that we're giving him XP. And if we, for example, once again, we plan on like taking plates, that makes sense, right? Because then we're like snowballing ourselves, right? It's just that we're thinking about these things. Because we can just slow push and then hard shove when we feel like we need to, but we deny resources, and then when we feel like we can accelerate ourselves, then we do it.
Yeah, I don't really do anything with this.
It's like we get a plate, right? But we could have gone on the plate the next wave as
Yeah,
well if we could.
Mm.
And this is a bit awkward. Are we scared of... I mean, I guess we're scared of the Talon here. It's like the only thing. But we should know he's still topside, agreed. Because here we saw the Talon, and we know his bot camps aren't up, which means he's not resetting and going bot lane, right? He's clearing his topside camps right now.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm playing full aggression here. And obviously we have no ward or anything to place anyway, so either we're, like, resetting here, or we're staying. And here we should be able to force them into bad position. We have free biscuits as well, so it's like we can keep laning forever, basically. Now he takes grubs as well, so now the lane is omega free. Agreed?
Yeah. I think here I was actually pretty afraid of Talon, but then I should be able to walk up.
Yeah, I think you were afraid of Talon as well with how you like played, right? But I don't think we should have been.
Yeah, I don't know. I think in my head like he had already finished top caps and he was like reset and could walk in bot.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make much sense.
Yeah. And one thing here is like, if we are really scared of him, like I would at least, press tab as we're walking back to like check if Seraphine has a ward. Because like, I mean, there we clicked tab, but we didn't see anything. Let's be honest, agreed.
Yeah.
And here we click tab, and now we can see he doesn't have a ward, and now we're like, ah, shit, And it's like, once again here, I think we just win on all-in, agreed?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, so I would just position aggressively once again. So this might be... I mean, it's like a bit grief what the Seraphine does here in terms of the positioning, right? But it's still just hard winning, right? And we just get a double kill here. And this is what I mean, right? If, like, because here, like, we just need to position, like, someone over here, they can't play, agreed?
Yeah.
And we just keep doing that, right? Whenever we have an advantage. And often on Jinx, you're not gonna find yourselves in these kind of positions, agreed? Or, like, not in a good majority of games. But if you do manage to do it, you can just snowball the game.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a bit weird.
Yes. We win this though now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I pretty much like agreed for plate and then
No, you didn't agree for a plate.
Waiting for leaves and...
So here's a thing, right? I mean, we might maybe the Talon is here, maybe it's not. The thing is, I would just auto-attack this plate once because we're just gonna get the gold then. We don't actually have to like kill the plate ourselves. The minions will kill it for us, right?
Yeah.
So I would just auto-attack and then step back into the bush and then start recalling. If Talon shows up, we kill him. Now it's suboptimal, right? Because now we kind of had to stay around, etc. And now enemy has some tempo. But I guess it ends up being fine. I mean, I would have thrown my ult already, to be honest, but... Maybe you know this a bit better because maybe like oftentimes that ult doesn't work out or something.
I mean, often I want to like see the result of like what's happening, right? Because
Yeah.
there I thought I waited long enough to know that Rumble was leaving, right? Because like I wasn't like aware that Soul was coming. But if he isn't, I'm pretty sure my R hits like at least like 95% of the times or something.
The reason why I'm like saying, okay, I would like us to ult earlier is that because, for example, let's say we had already ulted, right? And this rocket, for example, collides with Samira. Maybe it saves the Seraphine, for example, right? These kind of things. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but I'm saying it could impact the fight, right?
Yeah.
And we might gain some reward after the fight if we wait a bit with it. And as you say, I think, there's a good chance the ult hits, right? If Ace doesn't show up. But it's something to think about, right? Like, if you think the fight looks omega free and they're just trolling, like, I understand why we don't ult. If you think the fight is a bit close, I would ult.
Yeah. I think in general, if I'm like on the other side of the map and it's a team fight or like 44 grubs, I usually just like send it.
Alright, what is the plan now?
I mean, I think now I'm kind of like a bit lost to what to do. I guess I see Talon now, so then I get like a better plan. But when Talon doesn't show, I'm like semi-lost because I feel like it's hard to play again.
Okay.
They're 6. And Yeah, I don't know. Like
Yeah, I mean,
in my
this is a bit
head,
awkward. Yeah, go.
I kind of want to like build like slow push bot and then play for Drake.
Mm-hmm.
But we aren't really playing for that, and then I don't know like what I should be playing for if team isn't playing for that.
Right. So there's two things to this, right? I mean, one thing is that your champion will use scale, right? So theoretically, we could just once again like go back to like, okay, we play for like 3 or 2 items, right? It's like one thing. We could just play for spikes, right? So the other thing is that if you think what we should be doing is playing for this Drake, then I want us to ping it again, right? Just ping as this is on the Drake, I want to play it, right?
Yeah.
And if they don't listen, shit happens. But we're not trying to communicate it, right?
Yeah, I barely ping at all, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, this fight is a bit awkward, right? Because surfing just gets one tapped. I mean, I would E differently. I get that.
It's horrible traps. It's horrible traps.
Yeah. And I think that's like a thing to it, but it's also like, I think we kind of just have to lead the surfing to die. Because when we step into the rumble ult here, we just kill ourselves as well, you know? And now the lane is like a bit harder than before, I would say. Because now they actually can kind of start matching our spikes in a sense. I mean, this is a bit depressing.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back here, Samira. Yeah, Samira reset, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Do you even like this? Like,
The
because I
chase.
kind of just want, yeah, because I kind of just want to push. Like,
I mean, if you think you're gonna
fuck
kill
off.
him, yeah, go kill him, you know? If you think you're not gonna kill him, then go push.
Okay.
Like,
Because I feel like even
simple as.
if I kill, isn't it like kind of similar situation?
No, I mean, it's for sure good for us if we manage to kill him, right? Like, in that sense, like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's not right because it's 300 gold, right? And it makes us help us, like, reach our spikes faster. If you're talking about immediate lane, does it give us an advantage? No, of course not. Like, because he's still gonna be off tempo, he's still gonna reset, right? It's just like, if you think there's a, like, I don't know, if it's a 50-50 if we kill him or not, for example, or if it's like, you know, even less than that, yeah, no, I wouldn't go for it, probably. Yeah, I would just push the wave. Because this is guaranteed reward, right?
Yeah.
But if Seraphine dies here, right, like she does, like now we just don't have tempo anymore on the support, and now we can't punish lane for it.
Because if I insta push, like in my head, right, I get one wave and she should lose like almost an entire wave. And
Yeah.
that's like, it's not quite 300 gold, but
No,
it's like one, like in difference.
no, I mean, in general, 15 minions are like ish 300 gold, right?
Yeah.
So that's 2.5 waves, right? So if she loses like one wave, yeah, it's like a decent amount still, right? And then maybe we get a plate, right? Something like this, right? So we get a bunch of gold, right? She misses a bunch of gold, so we get like 100, she misses 200, 100, then we get a plate maybe. So it's quite a lot.
Yeah, so it feels like that's kind of equivalent to killing Rumble, right?
Yeah,
But,
can be. Yeah, and I mean, I would not skill check this. It's like you can do it if you really want to. But it's a bit of an ego thing to do, and if we get hit by 2 E's like this, we're kind of suffering, you know?
no.
And this is like, you do that shit against Rumble once, I think, and then you never do it again, because you kind of learn your lesson, you know?
Yeah, I got really fucked here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's not great. Now we lose the tower. What is the plan now?
Now I feel like my lead is kind of gone.
Yes.
So I guess like here I just want to shove. I'm kind of scared.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine at least that like enemy team can rotate here. But Talon does shows top, and then Rumble as well, so I'm kind of chilling. Only Samira can be here, and I'm not really scared of Samira to catch me at least.
Yeah.
I mean here I think it's is this to rotate. I'm not too sure, but
No, the rotation is good. Like,
yeah.
because you have nothing to do bot lane here. You cannot play bot lane. So you have literally nothing to do on the map. So we just rotate up in case we need to be there for the fight. We take the wave, that's fine. And it's like, afterwards, if we need to rotate back bot lane, we do so. If the Riven can catch it, then we can do something mid lane. Like, for example, take this tower. I would do so instead, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever it might be. Right? It's like, the rotation is good. Because we're completely homeless on the map. So if we're like, not rotating and we're sitting there and then the fight is losing and we could have impacted it, then it's a disaster, right?
Yeah.
And we get the turret. Yeah, now we're getting strong. And now we have 2 items, so what's the plan?
I mean, I usually just like at this stage of the game, I usually just like sit mid wave, right?
Yeah.
Try to get prio, and then rotate with team to whatever, like try
Yeah.
to look for enemy raptors or our raptors, like between waves.
Yeah.
I feel like I not like looking for anything like very specific.
Mm-hmm.
I just like see like okay, 3 people top. There's a TP behind me. I guess I'm dipping.
Yeah. No, that's fine. It's like in general, our game is kind of AFK in that sense, where we just shove waves, right? And then we try to look for advantages between the waves. Now, like, one thing is like, if let's say here, we like look top lane, like we do, and we're like, we're never impacting this fight, then I would just not hard shove, you know? It's
Not
just
hard though.
yeah, it's just dependent on what we want to do, right? If we don't think we have anything to gain from it, then, and we don't have anything to do on the map, then we don't hard shove, right? If, for example, here it's like, oh, we hard shove into Drake, yeah, that's fine, right? Because we have something to do after we hard shove. But otherwise, like, we're giving her 1-2 minions, right? It's just unnecessary, agreed?
Yeah, sure.
It's
I think
like,
in this game I was like thinking this was like my opportunity to at least like half health mid tower tier 2.
yeah. Yeah, if you think you can hit the tier 2, if you think you can take Drake, if you think enemy raptors are up, you can take those. You think you can impact the top lane fight. Any of these are true, sure, do it, right? But if you think none of them are true, then we slow push. My point is just that we have gotta have a reason
Yeah,
for
yeah.
it.
Yeah, for sure.
And this
That's
Malphite just misses his ult. Unlucky.
yeah, he's a bit talented, this guy.
Yeah. Fuck's sake. Yeah, I don't mind us walking safe way here.
But also like my view of the game or like my role
Mm-hmm.
is also that I should never ever like not be on a mid wave.
Yes.
So I feel like I kind of grief there. Or like
No. Like
some
in...
part of my rotation has to
Yes.
been bad for me to like.
I mean, in general, it's like we want to catch every mid wave, right? If there's... Like, we can have reasons not to. For example, like... enemies like, I don't know, hard shoving, but like, whatever it might be, right? It could be whatever reason. Maybe it's like we have more to gain by going to a side lane than like catching one mid wave tower. But always in like, if the game is kind of in limbo, right, we always catch the mid waves, right? That is like our primary goal, right? In mid late game as ADC. But it's like, for example, here, if we need to be on the Drake, yeah, we hit the Drake, right? Like, we don't just go mid lane. Because here, what happens is we get zoned up by the Malphite, so we can't just go mid lane. And then we have to take the Drake. Preferably, what we would do is like, we would be mid lane, and then we would take the mid wave first, then we would go Drake. But obviously, it's a bit awkward here.
Because I remember like in game, I'm like, I don't think I have much other option than hitting the Drake.
Yes.
But I'm like, fuck my wave.
No, I agree. It's awkward, right? But sometimes it is what it is, right? I don't think it's like that we fucked up or anything. It's just that we got TP'd on, and they use this TP to get some sort of tempo, right? Which is the tempo on the mid wave, right? And then we decided to get the Drake instead, and we ult the wave.
This fight kind of sucked.
Yeah.
I was pretty confident this W would hit.
Yeah.
And I think I get like a pentakiller. All
Yeah,
4 people would be insane.
Yeah, I mean, potentially. If you think you kill the Talon afterwards, then I don't hate it. Like, it's good to be confident in that sense. And I mean, the game kind of remains the same, where we want to shove mid waves and then just look to do something on the map. Like, generally, we just want to be as strong as possible for every team fight. So it's sad.
Yep.
I mean, I don't have much to say about these fights. We're just kind of hitting people that are standing in front of us, which is like correct, right? There's not much else to say. Let's see here, I guess.
This fight was really bad.
I mean, this fight is awkward for a few reasons, right? Okay, so we come back on out on map, right? Now we have Nash. What is the goal?
I mean, we're playing bot side, right?
Okay.
So, like, generally just like taking bot side vision, then like pushing both tier 2s.
Right.
I had right. Like, we should actually look for like bot tier 2 first, I would imagine.
Well, it's like, it depends on how we do it, right? I mean, theoretically, how to play Nash is we shove this wave and we shove this wave in like unison, kinda. Since mid wave is, or mid lane in general is a shorter lane, this wave will arrive first. They clear this wave, and while they're clearing this wave, we rotate and we take the mid turret while they're rotating, or the bot turret, right?
That's what I'm.
This is how it goes, right? But it depends on a few things, right? Here, all we need to do is we need to look at the map. Because if they're not showing on bot lane, it means they're doing something
They
else.
have to be like everyone top right.
Yeah, either they're top lane or they're mid lane, right? They have two options. Or they're like standing in fog right there, ready to jump the river, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it might be, right? But the last thing we do here is we got to hit the tower, right? If we see one person bot lane here, it's fine to hit the mid tower, agreed?
Yeah.
But yeah, here we just get overloaded on. And the truth is, had we waited 2 seconds to see someone on bot lane, like, we would probably just have gained something from this. And Riven is doing the wrong thing by rotating, right? She should just take the turret. But we're doing the wrong thing by, like, trying to put pressure when Jinx putting, or what's called Riven is putting pressure, but they're not responding to it, right? Once you respond to the pressure, you can act. Because they're responding to the pressure in mid lane, right? By Samira being there.
Yeah. Ay caramba, man.
I mean, this in general looks pretty free. Alright.
And then it's over here.
Alright, let's look through the last one. Unless you have any questions on this game.
No, I think that was pretty much it. I guess I got a bit worried, like how I griefed my lead there for a bit.
Yeah.
But I think again it's just like being more aware.
Mm-hmm.
Like enemy champs where they are and.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things, right? Because it's like one, I think we had not this lane game, but like in lane phase we had a lot of opportunities where we could just have played more aggressive, I think, right?
Yeah.
It's like because we didn't expose our lead enough in a sense, right?
Yeah.
And we gave them more space than we should, right?
Yeah.
Which is like, I'm not sure who's like the best player you played against.
Kalista probably.
And do you think it's easy to play against him?
No.
Because it's like
he's the only one who like actually like traded even with me on like Jinx every lane.
Yeah, because something like you will probably notice is like if you face a good player and they get a lead, is that they will not give you any breathing room, right?
Sure.
They will just constantly pressure, right? So when we get a lead in this lane, especially, and this guy's like lane 1v2, and this Rumble comes back half HP, these guys are not playing the game right. Agreed.
Yeah.
It's like afterwards we just have to be aware of some things, right? I mean, if we're scared of the Talon here, for example, like it's fine, right? Like just, you know, we don't want to throw our lead because we thought like we wanted to greed against the Talon in that sense. But yeah, there's a few things that it's like, especially when we have a lead. I mean, preferably we try to get some like control wards, etc. if we can. If we can't, that's fine. And we just have to be aware of what like our win cons are and the enemy win cons, because that's kind of why we throw the game, not because of like the awareness of enemy champions, I think, but like just what's going on, or like not even what's going on, but just, you know. Because here we just kind of like you run it down. I don't know what else to say, right? We E a bit poorly, right? And then we step into the Rumble ult, right?
Yeah.
And if one of these two things don't happen, like we can't control what the Seraphine is doing, right? But yeah. And we have a lot of things to play for during the game, right? And we win a lot of fights, right? The game is a bit scrappy in a sense where it's not super organized fights, but that's all okay for you. But otherwise, I mean, I think generally we're doing the correct things on the map, right? Like the rotations, etc., right? It's just like about like understanding exactly what our role is, right? And like what our limits are sometimes.
Yeah.
Alright. Would you say this is a good or a bad lane?
I would probably say, damn. I think this lane is pretty like like if we do one mistake either way,
Yeah.
the game is like really fucked for the other person.
Mhm.
Because like I think it's not that far off that even if we hook, we lose.
Mhm.
But if we just win it, then they can't really play.
So, in general, in this lane, like, what I'm looking towards is like us winning pre-6, right? Because level 6 is like the biggest power spike of Seri, right? In lane phase, for sure. Before level 6, Seri is not really a champion. Post 6, she's a strong champion. Agreed?
Yeah. I also feel like my champ should trade like really well in Surrey level 1, level 2.
Yes. Like, this is another lane where I want us to posture aggressively. This is good, right? Like, really good. In a sense. I mean, I don't like this level 1 cheese. I think this cheese is like complete troll because, well, they just walk like this and we gain nothing of it. And if these guys are good right now, they're not positioning in the middle of the lane, they're positioning over here, and then we can't even out-attack them. And it's nice for us that they give us like 2 AoE out-attacks like this. Like, it's really good.
Pretty much 4 autos for free.
Yeah. And here it's like, this is how we want to position this kind of lane. One person here, another person here. If they ward this bush and Nautilus can't play here anymore, he steps back into this bush and we maybe step into the lane or something like this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this is similar thing to like before, right? We're like clicking backwards kind of. Like for a while, it's like fine. Up until here, it's like fine, but you know, we need to start spacing towards her at some point, right? Because I think we can trade 1 for 1 here, agreed?
Yeah.
And if we trade 1 for 1 here, it's like not perfect, but it's like fine, right? But now it's a bit of a disaster.
Yeah. Ooh, fuck, I remember. I griefed this really hard.
Okay.
Ay. And that's not beautiful either.
It's a bit unfortunate.
I mean, I think I should really be able to like deny their level 2.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a few things, right? Like we shouldn't be too scared here, I think. Like the Lulu is doing a bad job of zoning us, right? Because if the Lulu starts zoning us, we can't contest this area hitting the wave, agreed?
Yeah.
So when Lulu doesn't give a shit about us, I think we step up, right? And then we start like threatening to hit the Seri. And if Lulu stands AFK, we win. And if Lulu doesn't stand AFK, we trade for her at least, right?
Yeah. I'm kind of playing like Sari still has barrier. She
Yeah.
doesn't.
And I mean, I think our Nidalee trolls, I'll be honest here, like afterwards, but it's like, it's not like we played good either.
Yeah, for sure.
So what is the plan now?
I mean, now I think it's really hard to play the lane.
Yeah.
Because now she will probably have like whatever, like the 900 gold.
Yeah, the Scout
AD
Slingshot
item.
or whatever, or
Yeah,
Volte.
yeah.
Whatever it's called. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I think it's like really hard to play fights. I think they kind of just like win.
Yeah.
Oh, she has even.
Yeah, but this is even worse, right? Because now we can spacer, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, later
So
it's
I pretty
difficult,
much
right?
just like play to farm.
Yep.
Try to get like 3 items at this point.
Oi, oi, oi. I mean, it's unfortunate. A bit unfortunate.
it's so fucked, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in general, right, it's like similar thing to the first game we looked through, right? Where we just kind of stand AFK and we hope something works out. The Tristan is getting fed. If we can get Tristan on a move timer ever, like, she can kind of fuck over the bot lane, I think. Because our champion is, like, not super weak from behind. It's just hard for us to get to the late game if we're behind. But if we get to farm like this, I think we're chilling. Like, then the game is still playable. And this is a bit awkward.
Yeah, this is horrible.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, this is kind of like the scary thing about Jinx matchup, I feel like. Like, once you get behind,
yeah,
you can pretty much like never walk up the way. Or like, she has eased the wall, right?
Yeah, I mean... I think in this position, if the Nautilus decides to hook in here, even if he hits the Seri, you just leave this guy behind because the Seri is level 6 and the Seri is strong. Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of what I meant, like.
We always lose.
Because the Seri will always win on all in on level 6. That's just how the champion works.
This doesn't feel quite right. Maybe it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, there's a few things here, right? One is like, I think here, if we just walk up in a straight line, we're just out.
Sure, yeah.
I could be wrong, like, oh, of course he's gonna try to cut us off, but if we walk like this and then like this, it's gonna, like, you know, be a lot longer.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is kind of how we walk, and if we walk like this, I think we're chilling. Maybe we have to flash.
Also,
but...
if I walk up, I should have free W.
Yeah. Because here, it's, like, super awkward, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and this is a bit sad. And now I think the game is completely over. Agreed?
Yeah, I try like desperation play top, and it's a disaster.
Yeah. Right. Well, I don't have too many things on this game. I think the main thing is just, like, in the early game, like, I mean, this was, like, fine, right? And a lot of it is just recognizing, like, what levels will we win on, right? And just knowing our limits in the matchups, right? Because, like, well, I don't play your role, right, that much, so I don't know your limits as well as you do. But it's like, I think, theoretically, if this hook lands, we should at least trade 1-for-1, right? Always.
Yeah.
And it's like, sure, the Nautilus is, like, not playing it super good in that sense, but yeah, we can for sure space it forward, right? And then trade 1-for-1, and then we're chilling because Seri is one dying and Nautilus is the one dying.
Yeah, I also, like, my click after hook lands is kind of hesitation as well.
Yes. It's like, there's a lot
like,
of... Yeah.
This
because...
auto and then this is disgusting, actually.
Yeah, because it's always, right, like, we just have to think if we're doing a short trade, if we're committing, right? This guy does not have the option to short trade, right, often. At least not, like, on this level, right? If he hooks in, like, this far, this guy is committing for a fight. Right, so when we click here, we can't click backwards, right?
Yeah. I think I'm, like, looking if we win fight or not, which is, like, I should already know.
Yeah, exactly, right? We have to decide, I mean, over here, if we win the fight, right? Like...
Yeah.
And it's like, if we're not winning the fight and we're standing like this, I don't know what we're doing. And I think here, maybe there's a world where we don't win the fight because, like, we're just gonna be fighting a full minion wave, right? But it's like...
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, we have options to play for, right? That's my general point, right? And it's like... We can for sure play for advantages, right? But it's like, no, it's already rough side. And it's like... A lot of time just... I think hesitation in all-ins, right? We've seen, like, through multiple games. It's like... Or, like, clicking backwards. And it's like, generally how it's zoned. Like, I like the zoning, like, here, even though it went wrong. Like, it's still the correct play in a sense, right?
Zoning where?
Like, how we did it level 1, right? Like, or... Or zoning, but, like, yeah, how we position with the Nautilus, right? Aggressively.
Yeah.
I think this is correct for sure. But it's like, just in general, right? And it's like, if we think this all-in is losing, right? It's still good for the Nautilus to be able to position, right? Like this, right? Because he's not under any threat until they place a ward in that bush, right?
Yeah.
So, like, in general, I don't hate how we play it, right? But it's like, look at this game, right? It's like hesitation. There's a few other games, right? In this one, it was a bit about playing more aggressive, I think, as well.
Yeah.
And, like, same thing in this one. And I think one thing with both this game and this game is, like, how we punish the enemy support, right? In correlation to what enemy ADC is doing, right? Because it was, like, similar thing in this game to, like, the Rumble one, which we looked at. Where it's like... Right here, we're like...
Right.
What did you say?
I didn't hit Leona.
Yeah, right. It's like... because if this Ezreal is, like, focusing the wave or whatever, and this Leona positioned aggressively, right? We have like, they have to choose between one or the other, right? If the Ezreal is standing here and the Leona is standing here, then we can't
push and ward it.
Right. And it's like, because this is, like, in general what I'm thinking, right? It's like, this guy can't both play for the push and this guy can't play for like an aggressive trade at the same time, right? They have to choose between one of them, right? Because if we fully commit for the push here, let's say, right, then okay, we're gonna get the push, agreed?
Yeah.
Because this Leona is not in a position contest, and if we fully commit with the Sona to hit the Leona, then the Leona is just gonna be taking damage. So we just have to choose between one. And it's the same thing in this rumble or in this lane, right? Where it's like, yeah, the Samir is last sitting, so you just go fuck over the rumble, right? And if we for some reason think rumble is standing in Narnia, then we can start stepping up towards the Seraph or the Samira rather, and then we can start setting up minions, these kind of things, agreed?
Yeah.
And I just think anytime where we are able to get the push and this guy has the last hit, we have options to do stuff, and I'm not sure we're always thinking about it, agreed?
Yeah.
And I think we think, like you said, about hitting this guy at times, but not about this guy, and not about setting up next one. And not always how aggressive we can stand. Because I think the spacing in general that we do is like not bad in a sense, but I think often as well, we kind of have this idea of we're spacing as far away as possible as we can, right? But we can sometimes space a bit closer because we're strong, right?
Yeah.
Because it just gives us more room to hit if this do walk forward. Agreed?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I
Any
think
other?
also when I'm like after like these lose streaks or whatever, I start like doubting my own like I guess judgment, but like bad judgment is probably way better than no judgment, right?
I mean, I don't think it's like bad judgment either, right? Like
Or
sometimes,
not like judgment, but like
yeah, I know what you mean.
decision, like
Yeah, it's like
making a bad
you're not
decision.
confident, like you feel like you're griefing, so you're not confident in like you're making the right decisions, like simple as.
I'm not doing either instead of doing like either the right one or the bad one.
And it's like you said, you were like 5 LP away from Challenger, like you don't need to fucking worry about like, you know, that kind of shit. It's like, as you said, often just committing to a call is like one thing, and the other thing is like we just ask ourselves, okay, what is like the actual goal with why we're playing? If you're playing like fully to improve, let's say, like for all I care, just fucking send it on some place. Sometimes we're gonna fucking run it down, agreed? Like, but if we run it down and we learn, that's fine, right? For example, like, I don't give a shit that we like did whatever we did here and we clicked backwards because we learned from it. Agreed?
Yeah.
It's like, but had we like not done this at all or whatever, like, you know, it's a different thing. Like if you're in Nautilus or standing in Narnia and we're not learning anything, then I feel like it's a waste of time. Agreed?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's like the one thing, right? Like even if we feel like, okay, we're like not playing our best right now or whatever, or like we were doubting ourselves a bit, like just commit for some place. Because if we don't commit, then we half do stuff, then we're just not gonna learn anything from it. Agreed?
Yep.
Right. Yeah, and I don't have too much else. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask.
I think that should be a bit about it.
Right. Then, well, I hope it helps.
Yeah, I will try to make more decisions for sure. And I should ask myself more questions during the game as well.
Yeah. It's like, I think, I don't know how much you review your own games. But if there's something like you're curious about, whatever, or like if you're just sitting in queue or whatever, like it can be nice to look through the old games, like, and just say like, okay, what did I do here? What should I have done, right? Like, just asking these same questions we're doing a review now, like, and just doing it will help us like autopilot ask these questions while we're in game, right? We just have to ask ourselves more often, right? That's the main thing.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, but I don't have anything else. As I said, if you have any questions in the future, just DM me. That's completely alright.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and as I said, it will be up on YouTube like next week or something.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, thank you for the session, man.
Alright, awesome. Hope it helps. I'll see you.
Yeah, have a good one. Bye bye.